Well, it's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I was just watching some of the content coming out from the Spence Ugas Media Week, and it's a lot of good stuff, a lot of worthy topics to talk about. But what I wanted to address in this video was, El Bandera Roja, David Benavidez. He was out there talking to many of the lovely media out there in Dallas, Texas. Most notably, my good buddy, my good friend, Sean Tattel at Fight Hype. David Benavidez is a guy that from the outside looking in, he definitely strikes me and a lot of other people as someone that is just down to fight anybody. And unfortunately for him, he hasn't had the best of luck in his career with these matchups. I think some ridiculously bad management on the behalf of Samson Lukowicz is to blame for that, because I really don't think it's Benavidez himself. But on this channel, we made a big deal about the comments and the quotes from Samson Lukowicz, where he said that they would need more money to fight Demetrius Andrade at 168 than to fight Canelo Alvarez. They would need about $7 million just to start talking. Now, Benavidez was asked this question by, I think it was Daniel from the Boxing Voice. Shout out to Daniel, always out there on the grind. But he asked that question, which I thought was a good question. And Benavidez said that basically, look, I will take less money to fight Andrade. What Samson said is not true. Everything goes to me and my dad first. So, look, it sounds great, but, it sounds great. But I want to see if this holds true if both these guys win the next fights, because Boo got a very tough assignment going to Derby on the road in the UK to fight a very underrated and dangerous and formidable Zach Parker. And Dave Benavidez is fighting an ex-champion who can punch in Lemieux, who he has to be on his P's and Q's about. So granted that they come through the next fights safely and well and okay and they win, then let's see if that's the case, because as David and his dad pointed out in the interview, this will be Andrade's last fight under the Matchroom umbrella, which means that it should be easier and more feasible to make a fight happen with the two next. Look, man, Benavidez also came out and said that, if he can't secure the big fights, if he gets past Lemieux next, that, it might be time to go to 175. And truth be told, this is a move that, if they're considering it now, it should have been made years ago. I mean, I asked David's dad in person about would they go to 175 to fight Better BF. He starts talking about Badu Jack and how they were offered Badu Jack a couple years ago. So I don't think going to 175 right away until they've exhausted every single last option is in the number one interest, because if it was, he would have answered that question differently when I asked him. And also, they would have also already competed at light heavyweight when the WBC moved him to the 175 rankings after he missed weight. He had to ask to be reinstated to the 168 rankings. So look, Benavidez, I feel like, look, with Canelo being on, being busy, quote unquote, it opens up the floodgates for Benavidez to focus more on himself and stop chasing that payday and chasing that big fight. The Andrade fight, I think, I'm going to be optimistic. I think the Andrade fight is extremely it's extremely possible to make, because we know that he's not re-signing with Eddie Hearn. We know that he will be a free agent, and that opens up the possibility to potentially sign a one-off deal. And, the reality is this. Look, Benavidez is, 26 right now? It's really sad, because back in the good old days when boys were boys and men were men and boxing was more about the fighting more so than the business, by his age, he would have had like a couple of great fights already. I mean, like I was talking to my friend Sean about this, and we were talking about the career of Oscar De La Hoya, and it was like, man, at 23, Oscar De La Hoya had already beaten guys like, Jesse James, Leija. He was fighting the likes of Julio Cesar Chavez and Rafael Ruelas and these guys. And he had a really good foundation for himself to go into the prime years of his career. Now what's happening in boxing is like you got these guys like Benavidez and many others who are not being afforded the opportunities for whatever reason. Even Andrade as well. They're not being afforded the opportunities to get those high-quality names on their resume early in their career and build that resume going into the prime years. No. they have to build their resume in their prime pretty much. When in the good old days, guys built their resumes before they hit the prime, you know? So that's pretty much the news. David Benavidez is saying, no, it ain't Samson. Samson ain't in control of the ship. I'm in control of the ship. Me and Pops are in control of the ship. And he doubles down. He doubles down on fighting Demetrius Andrade. And for that, I give him respect. I give him the tip of my cap, because guys that even want to fight Andrade, they're not like adamant about it. They're like, yeah, they're kind of like in a passive mindset. Like, yeah, I'd fight him if the opportunity presented itself. But he's like, nah, man. Like, he understands the situation he's in. He's like, this is a guy who's been fucked over by boxing politics. I'm a guy who's being fucked over by boxing politics. Nobody wants to really fight us. Very few, if any, really show that real aggressive urgency to want to fight us. So, you know, why not make a big fight with each other? He understands that, and he's going after, you know, a guy that Golovkin didn't want no smoke with, a guy that Jamal Charles didn't want no smoke with, a guy that Canelo Alvarez definitely didn't want no smoke with. So, you know, he's getting my respect for that. Just for being so adamant about wanting that fight, for saying that, look, I'll take a little bit less money to try and make it happen. You know, you gotta respect a guy like that. But yeah, he's pretty much said, look, don't listen to what Samson says. I want to fight Andrade, and we will make this happen. Apparently, his dad and David's dad and Demetrius' dad, who I know and who I speak to regularly, they've already talked about making a fight happen. So yeah, that's the news. Make of that what you will. You know, leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time,
thank you for watching another video on True School Sports, the home of boxing. If you made it this far, do me a favor and do yourself a damn favor. Hit that subscribe button, and surely you will not be disappointed. You know, True School Sports bringing you the latest and greatest, the untouchable, you know, boxing content, interviews, news videos, breakdowns, live fight reaction extravaganza. We've got a great community of people here, boxing fans all over the world, from America to the UK to Australia, and on and on and on. So join the empire today. Hit that subscribe button. Take care and God.